and associated conservative groups that are out there. So it's a good time before the meeting to get to see folks and to get some information on what they're doing. And I'll have some more announcements about all of that in just a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and start with the prayer and the pledge. And Ron, if you can come on up and lead us through that portion.
I'd like to give credit for some inspiration and ideas to Pastor Joel Osteen for his sermon of this last Sunday on the 8th. The Tea Party was birthed just over 3 years ago by dreamers who looked around, got angry when they saw what some tyrant socialists and Marxists had in mind for this country, and now that we're watching this devastation roll out before our very eyes, we can call them nothing less than visionaries. Like Breitbart, they weren't content to just sit by and watch their country destroyed after nearly a quarter century of building the dream. These were dream big people, just ordinary people, like our forefathers in a way, people with passion, people with hope for their children and grandchildren, people just like us. They believe for the future. The Bible admonishes us, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world. Boy, do we have those. And against these spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. If this task seems impossible, think of this guy. God will not give you more than you can handle, and that goes both ways. Good and bad. Remember the parable of the talents. And like this like the little train who believed he could, this little fellow, I hope the graphic's up there, lives in a grown-up world. And all he has going for him is big thinking. So build your ladder up to the sky and keep on marching, keep on making signs and filling your car windows with patriotic slogans and candidate posters. Keep your yard and the streets filled with yard signs. Keep standing on street corners. Oops. Sorry. This is computers. Aren't they fun? The touchscreen part is we're using a teleprompter, as you can probably see. It's not working. Anyway, we'll just go ahead. Father, we thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's take a moment to think about those who've gone before us, sacrificed for us. Joe, if you might put that last graphic up there, please. We'll salvage one. Thank you.
Thanks. So the facility that we use here, and I think that this facility works really well for us, and we thank them. Pastor John Wheeler is the pastor here, and is Pastor Wheeler here?
No, he's spending time with his family.
All right. I was going to give him a chance. And then the next thing I have on here is another video for this evening. Ron, have you got the video keyed up, or is it?
Should be ready to go.
We're going to watch a short video, and then I'll have some more introductions for you. Which one are you looking for? While we're getting that ready. If you haven't been living under a rock, then you know that this year is an election year. A very big election year. In fact, somebody coined the phrase at our national conference call the other day, this is a year of destiny. so we've got a short amount of time, but we also need to understand that this is July, we start voting in October, and so there's a time to prepare the action, and then there's a time to execute the action. And we are very much in that transition time here where we're finishing all the preparations and we're ready to execute things. And some folks may be feeling that it's time to be out on the street corners already, that it's time to be walking door to door, and I know that there are folks walking door to door already. And as we get out of the monsoon season, I was joking about that earlier, as we get out of that season and into the later part of summer, you're going to see a lot more activity. And believe me, folks in the Albuquerque Tea Party and in some of our subsets that are preparing opportunities for you to get involved with the candidates that you feel strongly about, that you feel represent your conservative and constitutional values. We are preparing to give you those opportunities. We don't want to burn you out, but we want to give you those opportunities. And they are coming soon, and we'll be talking more about them. I think they've got the video ready, and we'll let it go.
The Tea Party came into existence because healthcare was passed. It was the passage of Obamacare that led to the Tea Party evolving from the grassroots, effervescing from nowhere. Every day, ordinary American citizens fed up already with all of Obama's spending, all of his other tax increases. Then healthcare came along and it was passed in a very unorthodox way that went against the grain of most people's sense of how things get done in this country. And then after it was passed, the Democrats spiked the football and walked all through the Capitol in that giant gavel. And then they made up lies about being spat upon and having racial epithets shouted at them. And so the Tea Party was born. And it led to all those town hall meetings, and it led to all the union violence at some of these town hall meetings. And the question now is just to what extent will history repeat itself? In terms of the Tea Party expanding. And in fact, it never did go away. The Tea Party never went away. The left hopes that it did. The left tried to tell themselves that it went away, but it didn't. It just transformed. It started as a protest movement, and now is eventually a grassroots movement designed to find nominees and then get them elected. And it's having pretty decent success, but now it's going to re-energize even more. And November 2012 stands to be an even bigger repeat than what November 2010, the midterm elections. Well, I would not want to be a Democrat. They may be temporarily halfway, they may be spiking the football and so forth. But you're going to see more of them declining to go to the Democrat convention. You're going to see more of them declining to be campaigning side by side with Barack Obama. This is just going to make the Tea Party boil. Look, I'm in the tea business now. I'm a tea expert. And I happen to know what happens when you boil tea. It gets stronger. That's how you make it stronger. You boil it. You steep it. You leave it in the hot water. And it gets stronger. And that's exactly what is going to happen now. It's happening even now as we